Hey, good morning. Brian here again. Had some questions about how the farm got started, when we bought the property, and how we kind of made efforts to clear the land. So I wanted to kind of walk you through some photos here and give a little brief description. We were looking for land for a long time. I've just had it on a dream of mine to develop land and have a farm. My grandfather had 80 acres, my dad had 40 acres, and I've got 20 acres. Look at the dirt differently. You look at it and see abundance, what one seed can produce, God's abundance. I've just always been inspired by that. And so where we live, we've been looking for land for several years and just couldn't find the right spot. There's several aspects, characteristics of the land that I was looking for that really felt I needed. Good water source. Our rear boundary line is actually a creek. Bubbles up out of the ground about a half mile, like 2 properties up. So it's about as fresh a water as you can get. We've got when we were clearing the land, I didn't realize this, but I'll show you one of the photos here in a moment. The water table's pretty low. There is a well on the property. The house is 100-year-old. Here, let's take a look at that. Here is a photo of the original house. We tore this down. It was built on the ground, if you can believe it. You could almost push it over with a truck. This land, when we bought it, had been clear cut, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 years before. And this next photo here, you can see this is kind of the yard of the old house. Just over the septic field, but just past that, you can see how dense that is. Let me see if I can zoom this in here. It's about as thick as you can get. Here's another little photo. All of these little baby trees had just grown up, overgrowth, sticker bushes, briar, everything you can think of, vines. I mean, you can't even walk through it. It was about as dense as you can get. And here's an aerial photo. You can see the property. There's some trees, several trees around the property line. Old growth oak, which is great, good for getting leaves for the garden and such. But we pulled the trigger and said, if we're going to make a go at this, let's try and clear the first 4 or 5 acres for the front half. And so we rented a big old excavator. When I say we, here's the hero of it all, my Uncle Carl. We're originally from the West Coast, Oregon. He grew up logging. He's been around equipment his whole life. He came out here and taught me, and I got the privilege of learning how hard it is. But you just got to learn. You got to get hours. You got to get control time and go for it. But he came out here. You start looking at costs to clear the land, and out where I'm at, it's anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 an acre, and that just adds up real quick. Well, the machine rental and an airplane ticket for my Uncle Carl to stay out here for about a couple of months. We made a go at it, and what we did with a week-long rental with this excavator. This was a John Deere 160G. That's about 40,000 pound excavator with a thumb. So he's just scraping and grabbing and making piles. Man, what he can do, it's just impressive. And we cleared about a good 4 or 5 acres. And here's another photo. You really, if you stand next to it, you really don't get perspective in terms of size. These machines are big. Here's a video of us making the piles, burning it. We got a fire started, just start burning all the trees. This is one of a couple burned piles. Just ending for the day, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Uncle Carl, get it. Now that is a burn pile. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That sucker is hot. Man. Wow. Bigger than a house. Woo-wee.
We pushed over a bunch of trees, kind of pushed into that tree line, some gum trees, some trees that I just didn't want to really have, and kind of open up for sunlight for growing, capture as much space of that property as we could. He'd push them over and I'd buck them up with the chainsaw. And here's a photo. A good buddy of mine actually has this airplane at the little municipal airport. And he flew over the property, and so you can kind of see what it was when we bought it. You can see what it was, the progress we've made. This is just his phone photo, but from 2022 to about 2024. That winter, we went to town clearing 23 into 24, and then Google just updated their satellite photos, and so here's a photo of it again. This time you can see the pole barn. I'll have more photos, but you can still see the progress. Here's another photo of a different vantage point. I cut a little road down to that creek that's our rear boundary line, but from that little road looking up, it's a good perspective. But you can see here the topography of the land, and this is something that I do actually like. I like a gentle slope. I like to divert. I'll be talking more about that, how we'll be doing some swales. I dig trenches, I bury wood. 2 videos ago you saw me burning, but that's just kind of to make way to get stuff. But I really like hugelkultur. I like seeing the beds. I like adding material to the soil to give it that boost, and wood lasts a long time. Lots more videos to show about that, but I did want to end this video just with this. When you're clearing land, you never know what you're going to find. We found a lot of junk. People would dump glass and trash and old TVs and just bed frames and just junk on top of junk on top of junk. So that's a surprise. When you buy land, you don't know what you're going to find. But on this photo here, this is something that was a pleasant surprise. This was towards the bottom of that slope. Water collects in a little area, and after the rains, it stays wet, and that's where I'm going to build my pond. So that's another video. I with that excavator, before I returned it, I buried that boom. I was like, how deep of a hole could I dig? And we'll talk more about that next video. But hey, if you like this, like, subscribe, let me know, put in the comments any questions you have. We'll make more videos about that. But really appreciate giving me a chance to walk through just the vision we've had, the progress we've made, friends and family who've helped. Look forward to connecting next time. Thank you.